This is what your complete draft should look like. And also with the suggested elastic measurement for cutting, 4 centimeters less than the stated waist and 2 centimeters less than the leg width measurement. Okay, this is part 2 and it's continuing from the part 1. Just a little note to my viewers. If you are here to learn, then please be patient. Watch the videos, as I noticed the viewing time is just a few seconds. It does take time to create drafting videos. As far as possible, I try to make it short, and in some cases details has to be explained. Like this video, for instance, is in 2 parts, and it could go into 3. So I decided to make it a full complete draft. So without explaining, it will serve no purpose. It will leave lots of question marks. You could always watch in parts that suits you, as I also put in timestamps under my description which you could follow. I could create a lot of videos in Inkscape and Valentina, whichever is preferable. Just like you, I am also learning and experimenting. There is no end to learning. Lucky those who need it. I am doing the groundwork and sharing it for free. If you consider my videos valuable, then I would appreciate if you are not subscribed, to subscribe and give it a thumbs up and share. Thank you. Continuing from part 1, and this is part 2, I'm going to start drawing the outline, or I'm going to create points to draft our pattern. To make it easier, you create all your points first, and then you draw your lines, and I will show you how I do it. So now starting from this is your back. It's going to be your back. This is your back crotch height. So I want to move a point right up to 2.5 centimeters going to the right. I'm going to click onto this piece. Then this is point at distance along the line tool. I'm going to click onto that line, and I'm going to click onto this point here, and I'm going to add 2.5. Okay, now it's inserted the point here for me, and I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to insert a point as well, 5 centimeters along this line here. It's 5 centimeters. Then I'm going to click onto the same point along tool, and I'm going to click into between these 2 points, and I'm going to click. Now you see what happened here. I'm just going to show you. If you're going in the wrong direction, the point is going to go in the wrong place. So now I need a point here after 3. A3 and not after A5. So you have to click on the A3 first and then the A5. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to click onto this tool again, and I'm going to click on A3 and then the A5, and then I'm going to click 5. The direction matters, as you can see. And now I'm going to click again, and I'm going to click from this point. I want 5 to go in, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click 5. Now this point here is actually for the crotch. So I'm going to still click onto this, and I'm going to go up 3 centimeters. And as I told you, we're going to use the same tool again. You press L, and it will automatically give you that. You see it gets highlighted. So I'm going to click onto this point. I'm going to click right to the top, and I want to type in 3 centimeters, and I press OK, and it will create a point 3 centimeters to the top here. And I'm going to do the same on the right. L, click here, and I'm going to click 4. So the front crotch is different from the back, so that's why it's going to be 4 centimeters. Apply OK. So that's going to be your point for your crotch, drafting of your crotch. So now I'm going to go further onto my left again. I'm going to go up another 7 centimeters. I'm going to click L, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click onto the very top line, and I'm going to go 7. Okay. So now this the square here that I created here is just the foundation, and this is going to draft your pattern within that box there. So these are all the measurements that I had from the book, and then I'm using those as the measurement to achieve the pattern. And now from this point, I'm going to go down on the front crotches, shorter than the back, the height of the crotch. So I'm going to click on here, L tool. I'm going to go down and to the end of that line, and I'm going to go down 4.5 centimeters. You can follow me if you want to draft a 5 to 7, and this is the measurements that you would use. And so now I'm going to click onto this tool here, and I want to go in at 4 centimeters. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go to the top here, so it gives me the line going across that way. Or you can even click here, it will take you to that right. So I'm going to click 4.5, 4 minutes. I'm going to go in at 4 centimeters, and then I click apply and OK. Now at this point here as well, I want to go in. I'm using the same tool. I'm going to use the same tool that I used last, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to the bottom, so it creates a straight line going across, and I'm going to go 3 centimeters in. Apply, and it created that point there for me, 3 centimeters. Okay, as you can see now, I got all my points here, and I'm going to now start drawing my lines. So now I'm going to connect this tool here on the side here is a point at distance and angle tool. Now this tool is actually not for drawing your lines, but it's for creating points. As you saw, I used that tool to create points. Now to have my lines connected, I'm going to use this line here, this line tool where it says line. I'm going to use the curve. So now I want a curve here because this is my waistline. I'm going to use a simple curve, and I'm going to draw a curve going here to this point. Okay, and now what I'm creating here is the left side of the panties, and this is the right side. So we're creating both at the one time. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the point again, and I'm going to click onto the line tool. I'm going to draw a line, okay, going down. I could draw both all together, but I don't want to confuse you, so I'm doing the left first, and then I'll go on to the right. I'm clicking now again onto the curve tool, and I want to curve this line going down to this point, and that is going to create the curve for your leg. Okay, so I'm just going to create that. And now in order to adjust your curve, you can click and hold onto this line, and you can adjust it. Give it a slight adjustment, and you can also use the handles that was given as you drew that curve line. And now I'm going to go back to the line tool. I'm going to select the line tool. I'm going to click from this point to this point here that I created, and that is going to give me the crotch, part of the crotch. Click onto the curve tool. You click onto the curve again, and you're going to click from this point to the top, the waistline. That's the waistline. I'm going to do the same here. Try and grab this line here. You see, when you try to grab the line, you get a hand icon appearing next to the cursor, and when you press on it, you see it will grab that line. Now if it's not grabbing that line, it's not going to move. So if you look here, the hand will close. Now when the hand is closed, then you drag that thing, and you drag it till it meets this point here, the point that you created at the bottom. Use your handles, and you can just adjust your curve to a smooth curved line. Okay, make sure you grab the right handle, and this is more or less the right curve. Okay, you just play around with that till you get the right curve. Now what you've done here is actually created the back part of the panty. That completes the panty on the back. Okay, now I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to draw my points. I'm going to select all my points, same as that. You start with this point here. You're going to go to the curve. Okay, and then you're going to use a smooth curve, and you're going to create a curve. Now you make sure that your direction is going on a clockwise direction and not anti-clock. If you do it in an anti-clock direction, you see when you create a curve, you get the arrows going, and that arrow must be going in a clockwise direction. Otherwise, when you're trying to extract your pieces, it's not going to extract the pieces. It's not going to accept it. So I'm going to draw a curve going this way, and I'm going to grab my piece here. As you can see, the hand closed, so that is grabbing the line, and I'm going to do this. And here too, this is a side seam, so you can even still use to draw a curved line going to the bottom, to this point. Okay, and you can just give it a slight curve going to the side. You can use your handles. Okay, just adjust it slightly. And now I'm going to go to my line tool. Select your line tool. You click from here and to this point here. This is going to be your crotch. And you're going to use your curve tool again to draw your leg. This is your inner leg. And use this, and I'm going up this way. As you can see, I'm going in a clockwise direction. Okay, I got that. I'm going to wait for my icon to change into hand grabbing. And then if you can watch closely, I don't know if you noticed that. Okay, you see when you click onto this thing, you see there's a hand icon that appears on next to your cursor. When you press on it, you see it's closing it like a fist, and then you're ready to move that So when you move that, and then you can also use the handles to assist you to draw a smooth curve going down. So that's going to be your inner leg. Okay, and that was quick and easy. As you can see, the front part of the draft has already been done, and this is the back. And now we're ready to extract the pieces, add seam allowance, and to complete the pattern piece. Okay, now you'll notice that the panty pattern has now been formed. So next you need to go into details, and you click onto the detail. This is a workpiece tool. You click that, and you're going to select it. Now when you select it, you make sure that when you're drawing your lines, all your arrows are facing in a clockwise direction. Otherwise you won't be able to create your piece. You must go in a clockwise direction. So I'm going to click onto this. I'm going to click onto this point and onto this point. And here when you come to the curve, make sure you click onto the curve. Okay, onto that point, and I'm going to click onto this point here, and I'm going to click onto this curve. And as you can see, it all turned red, and that is the correct piece. So I'm going to click enter, and then I'm going to press OK. So if you don't see the OK and all highlighted here, that means something is wrong. You have to go back and reselect all your pieces. Press OK. And this is the time where you can enter your details. You enter your details, and here is your piece. So click zoom to fit, and there's your back piece for your panty. And let me do the front for you quickly and do it in the same way, and I'll get back to you. So then you're going to start adding your seam allowance. Now I'm going to click onto both the pieces, using your control, and then you click, and you'll have both your pieces selected. So now I'm going to go into options, go to seam allowance, make sure your seam allowance box is ticked, and then you press apply, and you press OK. So now you do the same on this other side. You're going to click onto this, and options, seam allowance, you click onto the seam allowance box, and you press OK. And there's both your pieces, perfectly done. So to be rid, if you see the slight problem like this, here you go back into your drawing, and you just readjust it. So probably the curve wasn't done properly. As you can see, I was correct, and the curve has been corrected. Yeah, and then quickly do the front of the panty. Okay, I got that done. Just press enter, and then you're okay. Okay, now that we got our pieces and our seam, I'm going to cut this on a fold, and I don't want the seam allowances here. So I'm going to go into options. I'm going to go into the seam allowance, and I'm going to take away on A4. You see, this is A4, and after I'm going to write 0. Okay, so you apply, and you see it took this away, and also I'm going to do the same at the bottom, and so I'm going to type A5 is going to be before, so that's going to be 0. Now you can see there's no seam allowance, and that's how we remove the seam allowances on the seam line where you don't want the seam. And now I'm going to go on to the front piece. I'm going to type seam, and I'm going to go on to A4 14, and that's going to be after, it's going to be 0. Apply, and then I'm going to go on to point number 12, and that is going to be before, and I'm going to put 0. I'm going to take out the and type 0, and then you apply, and then you took it out and press OK. So it removed the seams, and that's how you remove your seam allowance if you don't want the seam allowance in that place. Put your cut and fold, okay? And that's it, and that's about how you draft your or these patterns. In fact, the majority of your patterns that you draft, you will use the same method of drafting almost all your other patterns as well.